You are now tuned into the Boxing Voice Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice. Today is going to be another spontaneous edition. Don't be afraid. We will be back at 7 o'clock on Thursday, our normal scheduled time. But today we have to dive in a little bit deeper into this subject of Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford. It's been officially announced on Tuesday that Manny Pacquiao is going to go with Jessie Vargas. And we need to find out what exactly happened to the Terence Crawford fight that was on the table for both of these gentlemen. Who exactly is ducking who? If this is something you're interested in, well, then tune in, because we're going to be talking about this and more, as well as taking all your calls.
Thaboxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record for pay-per-view.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I want to fight. Let's not
Production.
check it, you know. But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
Thaboxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. Now, for those that don't know, there was a potential fight on the horizon for these two men. And we really thought that this was going to happen. One of our listeners, Travis Williams, even went as far as getting himself an on-demand show because he felt that Terence Crawford dropped the ball. And indeed, he was right, because Manny Pacquiao announced on Tuesday that he's going to be going with Jessie Vargas on November 5th. That's going to be live on pay-per-view. It's not known if it's going to be HBO pay-per-view or not. Tune into this same channel at 7 p.m. Eastern for all those details. But right now we're talking Crawford. Crawford, is he all talk or is he delusional? I know a lot of you guys are asking yourselves, why? Why is he delusional? Why is he all talk? And that's what he's talking about. He just came off one of the best fights of his career. He's a pound-for-pound fighter now. He's a multiple division world champion. What is this blasphemy you are speaking, Ness? Well, if you just direct yourself to ESPN.com, there's a beautiful article there by one Dan Rayfield. And in that said article, it says that Manny Pacquiao chose Jessie Vargas because he is a champion. But it went on to say that he did not choose Terence Crawford because Crawford insisted on the fight being held at 140 pounds. For those that don't know, 140 pounds obviously is the junior welterweight division, the division in which Terence Crawford is a multiple sanction and body champion, known as undisputed, right? Not unified. Well, I guess he's unified, not undisputed yet until he gets all the titles. So he's a unified champion. He has the WBO and the WBC that he just lifted off of Victor Postal. So that being said, remember the number to call in is 1-425-569-5241. This is going to be a quick show, so those that get in get to stay in. Those that do not call in time, stay out. Once again, that number is 425-569-5241, or you can Skype us at Nestor Gibbs. Easily get in on the bat line. Now, the reason that we're even doing this is because Terence Crawford has fought as high as 142 pounds and 140. Remember when he turned around and he decided to make a name for himself and take a fight with British Prescott on HBO air in 1 or 2 weeks short notice? Well, that fight was for 140 pounds. And Crawford had went on to fight one more time at 142. Obviously was way before he was a champion or anything like that. But the fact still remains that he is able to get to that weight as far as we know. Now, we also know that he had a feud with Danny Garcia not too long ago, which we all did a show about and we spoke about and everyone gave their takes on. But the point is he offered to fight Danny Garcia at 140 pounds, which is the current weight of Manny Pacquiao. And I'm just not understanding, why would he want to make Pacquiao come down to 140 when obviously you go up towards the super fight? But in one hand, I'm like, well, maybe I respect Crawford in the fact that he's trying to do this on his own and he doesn't really care about Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, and he's going to make his own legacy. But again, is he going to be content fighting the mediocre names in the division, not really getting above that pay grade because he doesn't have this superstar? Is there some sense of fear? Is he telling us, I could beat Danny Garcia at 140 pounds because he's slower, but I'm not stupid. I'm not going to put my ass out there and say I could beat Manny Pacquiao and lose my O and lose, that luster, that undefeated record, that smell, that new car smell you just can't get unless you got that O, right? I mean, I want you guys to tell me who's right, who's wrong. Now, remember this, we're talking weight. So Golovkin stays at his weight. Golovkin doesn't move up to 168. He doesn't challenge people outside of his weight unless he's going down. So maybe Crawford's saying the same. I'm not moving up. I'm unified. I'm going to go for the undisputed. You want to fight me? Come here. I don't really need you. I'm content. All I want to do is fish anyway. I don't need a bunch more money. He's already making mills, right? So Danny Garcia, is he more popularity, more money than Manny Pacquiao? You tell us. Scales of Life are here. Let's open up these phone lines and see what do we have. We're going to go to Boxing MD on Skype. Boxing MD, talk to me, brother. What's your mind about all this going on with Terence Crawford now?
Well, I don't necessarily think he's all talk, because he would have to have a track record of being all talk, I guess you would say. But it does seem that there's some level of delusion.
Wait a minute. Just to play a little bit of devil's advocate, he said it's whatever. So if it's whatever weight Pacquiao wants. It's whatever Pacquiao terms are. It's whatever. And then he said, I'll fight you at your weight.
But I think that's more of a
Danny Garcia. So I hear a lot of talking. I'm not seeing any action, though.
Well, I would say it falls more into the term. Well, you could pick one or the other, and obviously there's a blend of both of them when you analyze someone's behavior. But I think it's more delusional in the fact that, why should Manny Pacquiao listen to any of his demands in regards to weight when all we talk about is A side, B side, my weight, your weight, when Terence Crawford is a popular amongst hardcores, but he's a crumb on the table compared to Manny Pacquiao, even though he's losing luster, right? And this immediately brings us to the comparison of Golovkin does it, can Crawford. Would you consider Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao a 50-50 or close to it?
I mean, I would say that the popular public is going to say that Crawford is on that level, but you know me, I want to see a little bit more.
50K pay-per-view buys?
No, I think because it's Manny, Crawford has to do a little more.
But I'm saying like, obviously Crawford is the opponent. And so it's the whole, people are going to bring up, well, Andre Ward offered Golovkin this and offered that. Like, first off, Andre Ward, I don't need to doing this or whatever. He did the same thing at 168 by bringing down Chad Dawson because.
Well, MD, I just don't want to get away from the topic, right? Because
I'm answering the question. Crawford, right? If his goal is to quote unquote unify all the belts at 140, then that's fine. But going forward, he can't do the same thing by calling out Danny Garcia, who can't even make 140 probably feasibly at all. So if they actually offered him the fight. So it is a form of a duck. So he did duck Manny Pacquiao. You could disagree and say he's looking to unify at 140, but Terence Crawford has never said that before. He has only said that he's looking to fight the biggest opponents. So it kind of looks like a duck, in my opinion. And based just logically, right? I mean, I said this and people call me a hater, but like, people shit on Manny Pacquiao by being washed up and easy to win, right? A lot of people picked Manny Pacquiao over Tim Bradley. And Manny Pacquiao still is one of the upper echelon 147 pounders on earth, let alone somebody moving up to fight a 147 pounder. He knows it's a tough fight. Now, I don't think Terence Crawford is a coward at all. He seems to me to once, he's not all talk. I think he's maybe a little delusional. But Danny Garcia is that low-hanging fruit that maybe the finances aren't quite as high as Manny Pacquiao, but where they are in their career, it's close. It's getting closer and closer it's getting closer and closer as Pacquiao loses his shine. So obviously, Danny Garcia is that overvalued fat paycheck that people want him because he's easy to beat, in my opinion. So that's what I got to say about that.
Now, why do you think that Crawford is willing to fight Garcia at 147 but not Pacquiao? Because,
I mean, he could be, and this is, I'm gonna get heat for this, but he could be Danny Garcia literally in first and second gear. I mean, the fact that he could just do his own thing, not have to adjust that much, and school Danny Garcia. The levels aren't close, Nestor. They're not close. Mauricio Herrera gave Danny Garcia at times a boxing lesson, and I don't see it being close. And I mean, the guy knows boxing and he watches his tapes, and I think that he knows that that's an easy fight for him. Literally not like having to go in first and second gear. We hear that term all the time, but that's how I see the fight happening. Now, Manny Pacquiao, which is a much tougher fight, I think he knows that. And I think that he sees the financial, opportunity much harder to achieve versus Pacquiao, where he could lose. And I thought Terence Crawford didn't care as much about that as some of the other boxers do, but I guess he does. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? That he cares about the O.
I mean, I think that he's looking at it like, look, I could fight Pacquiao, but I could lose. You know what I'm saying? Or is it the Mayweather situation when Mayweather was with Bob Arum? He wanted Oscar De La Hoya. He couldn't get Oscar De La Hoya. Here is Terence Crawford. Crawford, extremely skilled. The network wants him to fight Pacquiao. Bob Arum doesn't get him Pacquiao because he's the black fighter. Now, listen, there's something that you should know. On that very same article on ESPN, they're also saying that HBO is already saying they're not taking this Jessie Vargas fight because they already got Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward scheduled for November 19th. So are we in a situation where it's really the promoter keeping away the, cash cow from the up-and-coming black fighter? Kind of what Mayweather was mad at when he was over there.
Listen, this is the problem I think a lot of people have when, we see Floyd Mayweather come and go. We talked about this earlier. How many pay-per-view buys did Floyd Mayweather do against Arturo Gatti, his first pay-per-view?
300 and something. 300. Just like Canelo, though. A star is a star.
I'm saying Terence Crawford is nowhere near there yet. Terence Crawford does not have the same grievances that Floyd Mayweather had when he was coming up by, like him proving. Floyd Mayweather was proving that even according to him, where Bob Arum was not giving him the shine, that he still was not only a great fighter, which we all, a lot of us think Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but he showed that he's a popular fighter because he was getting 300,000-400,000 pay-per-view buys before he fought De La Hoya, which Bob Arum didn't let him. So I don't think that it's not the same argument at all. So I disagree with that. Now the HBO
let's defend a little bit, right? Because we're saying that Crawford automatically ducked Pacquiao because he's insisting on the fight being at 140. He's no star. He's no A-side. Who is he to be saying or dictating, right? But
the only way Pacquiao should fight Terence Crawford or somebody like that, or Keith Thurman, somebody like that, is if there's no chance on earth that he'll get a chance to fight Floyd Money Mayweather. If that, for any reason, completely becomes an impossibility, then you take that risk. But as long as you potentially have Floyd Money Mayweather on the horizon, why risk?
Now, do you agree with that notion? Is it still ducking, though? It still constitutes ducking, regardless if you do it for business or not.
Well, I disagree with that because, to me, Manny Pacquiao doesn't prove that he deserves to fight Floyd again unless he beats someone like Terence Crawford or Keith Thurman. What the fuck does just beating Jessie Vargas mean? Like, we expect that to happen.
AB,
So,
I mean, damn, I called you AB by mistake. Listen, stay right there. Let me get to some other callers. We do have a lot of people. It is a locked door. Phone lines are locked. Whoever's on, stay on. Those that are just listening, press 1, and you get to be on this exclusive little show. We're going to go to the one, the only Blackface.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone listening in the past, present, or future. Yeah, I just come back from work, just logged on, and I see you doing some shows on there, which is, you know, decent UK time. It's just about to turn 10 p.m. over here, so I thought I'd call in and give my takes. I only seen the title, but you know, I know you've had a couple of spontaneous shows, and I've been liking the videos, making donations and stuff. So, you know, I like up, keep up the good work and such. But in regards to Crawford and Pacquiao, I still strongly believe that you can't necessarily duck a guy who's not in your weight class. That being said, you know, I said a couple of shows ago that I want to see Pac-Man, if he's going to come back, I want him to see him fight a young, hungry champion who preferably would be a southpaw, because I still don't know when was the last time Pacquiao fought a southpaw. I don't know why he doesn't fight them, but I want him to fight a southpaw. And, you know, Terence Crawford, obviously, he can fight in orthodox, he can fight in southpaw. He would be the ideal cherry. But my question is, for Pac-Man, for example, I know we keep them to a high standard. I like to compare him to Mayweather a lot. You know, Mayweather's got that Canelo victory on his record. Mayweather fought probably the best young fighter with the most potential going over to the next 10 years. And that's proof in the pudding now, how Canelo's doing all these pay-per-views, and, you know, he's the pay-per-view king right now. No one can even compete with his pay-per-view numbers. Who, out of all the welterweights and everybody, who do you feel would be the best equivalent person? Mayweather's got Canelo. Who would Pac-Man be? Would it be Thurman? Would it be Danny Garcia, or would it be Terence Crawford? Because I'm not even sure.
I mean, to make the argument, one that we don't have to debate, I would say would be a toss-up between Thurman, Brook, and Crawford, now that everyone's putting Crawford in there pound for pound somehow. And before Brook had the Golovkin fight, he was considered, you know, neck and neck with Thurman, and Thurman was considered number 1 after the Porter win. So, yeah, any one of those guys would be, I guess, Canelo level, but not really Canelo, right? Like, what Canelo brought was I mean, he brought a country. He brought brought pay-per-view numbers. He brought a different atmosphere. I mean, it was an 11-city press tour initially. No, I don't really think that I don't think that Pacquiao can find a Canelo at the moment. Maybe if Oscar Valdez blows up or Jojo Diaz blows up into some sort of super Mexican-American Oscar De La Hoya type clones, but how do those guys, any guy, compares to Canelo? Canelo can do 325,000 pay-per-view buys with Alfredo Angulo. Keith Thurman can't do that shit with Pacquiao.
Yeah. I mean, what I like to think, what I've been thinking about now is I like to give fighters a 6-fight deal. If you fight the guy we want you to see within 6 fights, you know, I'll take it. For example, you know, that Showtime deal that Mayweather
No.
No.
Come on, stop it. The other day we just said 2, that we would give guys 2, and then the fight. Now you're saying 6. Come on, we're being way too generous. They listen to these shows, guys. Stop it, man. I'm telling you, start saying that shit. You seen the pay-per-view prices got jacked up. I mean, yo, don't give these guys any ideas. Hell no, 6 fights. Holy fuck.
Yeah, 6 fights isn't that long, man. That's just 3 years. It's just 3 years.
Yo, you seen what happened to Gamboa Lopez in 3 years, brother? No way, Jose. We can't do that. No way. We need it quicker than that. Listen, Blackface, you've been excellent. Thank you for calling in. You've been wonderful. We're gonna go to 5:30. I think this is Cali Crown Holder. Let me find out.
Yeah, what's up, Ness? It's the Cali Crown Holder.
What up?
Man,
What up?
You killing the shows lately, man. You
a lot to talk about, man. It's a lot to talk about. We got to get out here and talk about this. I mean, Crawford saying that he's only going to fight at 140. Definitely. I mean, is a duck a duck? I mean, it smells like a duck to me. I don't know. Is he quacking?
I mean, I think he's quacking, man. He's got the quack and the waddle going too, man. Like, you know, when you have a lottery ticket, man, you don't have different numbers if they're winners. You know what I mean? You just cash them in and take the money. And, you know, there's certain guys that are ultimate ace odds, and they're Pacquiao and Mayweather. You don't get to negotiate. You know, they give you the terms and you show up. You know, I heard you talking to Blackface about, you know, there's not really Canelo that he could fight. But I guess he could, you know, after Mikey gets that IBF that he's looking for in that 135, he could fight Mikey, and Mikey's a Mexican star.
Yeah, but
you know,
Mikey,
and you can make that a pay-per-view fight.
Mikey's gonna have to prove that he's on a level of. I mean, remember what Canelo brings, man. The cheers. You remember those? Remember HBO Latino watching Canelo versus Ndu? Love more than Ndu. I mean, that was live. Like, Mikey got to do that. Don't get me wrong. They loved him in New York. I was fucking shocked. They loved him over here in Brooklyn. So let's see. But he's still got a lot of uphill battle to go through.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think you look at, they're talking about 50,000 for that pay-per-view Crawford Postol, and they're talking about how like the purses weren't even as high as first reported because the numbers were so bad. Like, if I were Crawford, I would not be trying to talk about, you know, 140. I would just be thankful for the big payday and an opportunity to beat Pacquiao, because I do think he could beat Pacquiao. But he's not going to get that money anywhere else. Same thing with Broner. Broner shouldn't have been talking about, I need more than $4 million. You know, there's just not that. The Mayweather money's not out there for other people. You got to take the, you know, the $7 million, the 7-figure paydays when you can get them. They're talking about Ward did like $800,000 for that fight against Brand.
850,000.
King, man. And so, I mean, if you're talking about the best fighter in the world, got $800,000 to fight on HBO, I mean, what do you expect if you're not the king?
No, but you see, but you see, that's the argument. But that's the argument. A guy like Broner got what, 1.25 to fight Paulie on Showtime?
Right. But that was how many years ago? That was a different climate.
No, ain't nothing. His purse ain't changed. He still got 1 point. He got like 1.5 or 1.2 for Theo Fame and for Oliver Kurdiev. He's still $1 million fighter. He ain't go down.
That's true, right? But
remember for the Porter fight.
Right?
For the Porter fight,
we're talking about.
Hey, listen. For the Porter fight, I think they gave him 2.5, dog. We would have to check that, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. I think we got like $2 million for that Porter fight.
Yeah, I mean, but still, we talking about even doubling that, right? We talking about doubling his biggest payday so far.
I understand.
And an opportunity for him to.
I understand, but that's how they're looking at it, dude. Like if you're a $1 million fighter fighting Carlos Molina for $1 million, then why is you gonna fight Pacquiao and lose for, you know? You could just keep fighting the Carlos Molinas of the world. That's what they doing. You don't see? Like he just fought Oliver Kurdiev and Theo Fame. That's no different than Carlos Molina.
Right, but there's only 2 fighters in the last 10 years that can even say they've got a real victory over Pacquiao, and that's Marquez and Mayweather.
Yeah, right? But you making it about listen. You making it about victories when you started this conversation about $4 million. So the fighter's looking at it like, yo, I fight 2 Carlos Molinas, I make 3, and I don't lose. Yeah,
but Carlos Molina showing up.
Man, Cali, you going through some bad service right now. Say what?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Legends aren't built on Carlos Molinas, man. They're built on Pacquiao's and Mayweather's. So if you don't have any notable victories, you can fight Oliver Kurdiev's and you can fight Carlos Molinas and you can fight those bums of the world, and you can get as much money as you want to, but the pride of fighting the best doesn't come from that. Well, you know, you can have both. You can have the money.
I don't know, Cali Crown. I don't know what channels are you watching, but I'm not seeing many fighters having pride, man.
You know, and that's a problem, though, right?
I mean, they want to be paid. They want to be paid to lose at that level. Like, they want to get paid. It's prize fighting. Listen, let me get to some others, brother. I got to get to some others. Short show. Suleiman, talk to me, the scholar.
Yeah, how you doing, Ness? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
Fine. this fight is another thing. I think he's immature. He's showing a sign of immaturity as a world champion now. I think he just should stay at 140. I guess somebody give him a wake up call. Stay at 140. Do a couple of defenses. Wait for other opportunities to arrive. I mean, if Manny Pacquiao wants to come down and lose, he's gonna lose either way, 147, 140. So if he wants to come down and won't lose at 140, then he could do that. Okay. So another thing is Danny Garcia. They woke him up on Danny Garcia because if he fights Danny Garcia, he's gonna get ferociously knocked out, and his career's gonna be done if he goes to 147, because everybody's counting out on his that on Danny Garcia being slow, but Danny Garcia carries a punch, and also another thing, they don't want to make that deal because Danny Garcia's not gonna take that fight for anything under less than $8 million or more, so they're not gonna make that deal. He's gonna stay at 140, and if he stays undefeated for 3 or 4 more years, then he's still gonna be going up the pound for pound ranking because they already put him in the pound for pound for the poster one. So you guys have a good day, and thank you.
All right, Suleiman, thanks for calling in. 908, you're up. Who's this?
So that's I mean, you already know.
I mean, what up?
Look, man, and see, I'm with you. Well, I'm with me, really, because I had said this a few shows ago, man. Like, at the end of the day, the decisions that we think about, everybody's talking about pride. They talking about a lot of things. Going back a bit, I agree with Blackface in terms of a win. I think if Pacquiao, not in terms of the marketing aspect, but in terms of the boxing aspect, a win for Pacquiao over Crawford or Crawford over Pacquiao, that is to me kind of like a Floyd Canelo situation, because it's the young guy that people say is untested against a guy that is battle tested and battle proven. But in terms of if it's ducking or not, ducking and business, they mix, but they look the same, because time and time again, I say if Terence Crawford is not satisfied with what's going on in Bob Arum, or he knows a way to maneuver around the business, anybody in that position would try to do so. So if you got a chance to try to say, yo, if I could get $5 million for fighting them, I'm going to take that. But I can also take $4 million. Maybe he can get more bread with fighting Danny Garcia and then wait for Mikey Garcia to get himself together and then really, feel like, yeah, I was the man at 140, and then move up to 147. If it makes business sense and the credibility of cleaning out 140, I mean, that to me is a high achievement. And I love this locked door shit.
Exclusivity, my friend. Exclusivity.
It is, man. That's it, man. Go ahead. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold the line up. Go ahead, Nestor.
But I just want to know though, like, because you're saying it's not really ducking his business. So then why is it a vendetta with Danny? Why is he willing to move up for Danny, who's less money and less risk? Like, if you don't want to take Pacquiao for more money, more risk, and you're willing to take Danny for less money, less risk, so I mean, yo, if it sounds and it looks,
nah, I'm the first one with my Elmer Fudd on, but listen, if he take half of what, because if Pacquiao probably gonna get $20 million guaranteed. So you say, all right, look, $20 million guaranteed plus whatever you get on pay-per-view, that probably equals the Pacquiao be getting like $20 million, $30 million a fight. Let's not forget about that. If you say, yo, I want 7, I want 10, it's nothing wrong with that. If you fight Danny and get 2 and then fight Mikey Garcia and get another 2, that's your 4. One was easy, one was what it was. You don't have to fight Pacquiao for that. If you know he's coming back for $20 million, possibly $30 million, he's got a reason to say, oh, you don't want to fight? Fight me. That's $20, $30 million, bro. That's a lot of money. He can call it.
But wait a minute. Floyd doesn't even pay guys as good as Pacquiao does. So it's better if Pacquiao's offering you 4, whatever he's offering is more than Floyd. Floyd is notorious. Like, the only ones that get money is Cotto and Canelo with Floyd. Other than that, everybody got under 2 and 3.
Nobody deserved more than what Berto didn't deserve what he got.
Hey, so then what's the difference? So then what's the difference? You're trying to say that no one deserves more than the 2.5 that Guerrero got, but then in the same sentence, you saying if Crawford ain't getting the 4 that he want, well, then it ain't really ducking because it's business?
Because the trajectory of his career. Ghost's career wasn't on that same trajectory.
Sound like some favoritism over here,
come on.
B. I'm about to get the guns out, yo.
Well, maybe it is. Yo, I'm on them guys like you on Danny and like Kell Brook and Wingy then.
I see. Well, I mean, thank you for calling in. MD, man, what do you have to say? What do you think about everybody and their thoughts? Some are already saying it's not even ducking, man. So, Crawford, if you're hearing this, don't get mad at me. We're just asking the question. It's not ducking, allegedly.
Well, I mean, it's not like you technically can't. He turned down the fight. So you really can't duck anybody, like the most obvious duck, unless you're somebody in your own weight class. But
yeah, but what does it's whatever mean? Doesn't that mean like, yo, he said, yo, there's a Pacquiao fight on the horizon. He's like, it's whatever. Like, well, we can do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's more of a delusional thing than all talk because, like, you know, like the last caller just said, like, it's your trajectory or like whatever your trajectory is. He's buying into his trajectory, it seems like, because, like you said, like, how much is your net? Like, you're only worth as much as you're willing to be paid. So whatever people got paid to fight Floyd, that was their worth. So whatever Pacquiao's paying, that's their worth. So being delusional is buying into your trajectory, assuming that you're worth more than it is. So but you cannot.
But yeah. And I'm gonna get and put you on. But like our thumbnail says, the man has choices, regardless, right? He can take a stand, Terence, because you don't have to be ducking. You could be taking a stand and saying you don't need Mayweather. You don't need Pacquiao to make your legacy. You're going to stay at 140. You're going to unify. Then you're going to move up, and you're going to become your own man. I mean, that's you could be saying that. And we have to respect that. The way that we respect that Gennady Golovkin stays at his weight. The way that we respected that Andre Ward stood at his weight for so long. We just got to respect when guys are at their weight, doing what they're doing. You know, you don't necessarily have to jump up and down. I know that is one of the criteria for pound, but, you know, I guess he already jumped enough in most people's eyes. That being said, man, again, with the views not equivalating to the thumbs up, I'm not understanding. Everybody was like, Ness, we really liked that you did 2 shows yesterday, so here I'm back with one show for you, and at 7 o'clock we're gonna have our scheduled Thursday show, and still the likes ain't looking right. I mean, hook a nigga before I hook off, man. Let's get this right. Let's share this on our Facebook walls, tweet this out, and let's see what everybody thinks, man. Let's have an argument in the comments. I want to see what's your thoughts. Is he ducking? You know, go to ESPN, refer to that article, read it for yourself. Crawford insisted on 140. I mean, it's really up to you to decide who's doing what and if it's ducking or not, really, you know. And look, I mean, he showed a bit of favoritism. To some, it's not going to be. Simply just not going to be. You know, Stephen A. Smith feels like, why risk it? All you got to do is beat up on Jessie Vargas, get a good knockout, and then boom, you're back because you just beat pound for pound Timothy Bradley. Now you get a knockout over Jessie Vargas, and you can sell that Mayweather comeback. Is that it? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back at 7 o'clock. Hit us up with some thumbs up and share it.